Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're here on our Triglavian campaign in the system of Perimeter. Triglavians are still here, they've been here for quite a while now, and I'm going to see if I can end with over 200 million ISK. We've got 160 now, so we're going to find, I would like to find some big spawn just to end this campaign I've had here. So we'll see and keep searching, because this Paladin, it works so great in terms of taking out these Triglavians, it goes so smoothly. Let's see if we can find these guys. I'm holding down V and just clicking down on a planet so we can scan each one with an angle of 5 degrees. Maybe at the sun? Yeah, there they are. They are at the sun. Quite a few of them as well. This is some we got from a very small spawn before, 11 million, but in the station there's a citadel. I believe it says the Sotio here. It's got a ton of loot saved there. It was a while since I fought at the sun, actually. The sun is... I noticed that before, when I did a lot of Triglavian hunting, they would first initially spawn around the sun. But now I don't notice that so often. I notice that they just spawn a little bit all over the place. So it could just be a coincidence that it was a lot of sun spawns before. Okay. Lock up this Triglavian and start taking it out straight away. We'll go for that ghoster as well. He's going to cause a lot of application problems. Get this MTU down too. There we go. Destroyed him before he was even able to lock us up. Great to see. These guys might be asleep actually. Yeah, they seem to be pretty AFK here. It's good because they're far away, so we're going to be able to track a bit better than them. But sooner or later they usually wake up. Yeah, you can see that. We've got reinforcements now. Okay. And that's what I was talking about. It's quite a few of them actually. We're good if we can get a massive spawn for the last one. Get a ton of loot. Loot is a lot of RNG based, but it's got a big correlation with how many you destroyed. But sometimes you can get some salvage drops that are valued so much. Oh, we should activate our armor repair. And get a Triglavian Nosferatu source on the way. And I should also be salvaging these wrecks here. There we go, salvage here. It looks pretty epic having the final battle here outside of the sun. The Triglavians, they have an obsession with suns. And it has to do with that they're able to extract energy from suns. They've got these stellar transmuters, if that was the right name I could recall there. They sort of harvest the sun's energy by firing massive pulses into it and sort of extracting it that way. I have seen that the factional warfare, the Amarians in particular, have been trying to imitate that, and unfortunately they managed to blow up a star because they didn't imitate it properly. But it seems to be a pretty powerful way of getting a lot of energy. So the Triglavian, they do like to... I think that's what they're trying to do. They are trying to capture systems, or they did do that before. But they could potentially be wanting to capture more systems to harvest more suns, because a lot of the, or pretty much all the systems that were captured by Triglavians, they have their suns work as fuel. And I'm wondering actually if it could be the reason why they started invading our space to begin with. Maybe it's because they sort of depleted all the suns around them where they were living before in abyssal dead space. Maybe they wanted to come to us to take the suns that they've got here, or the stars that we've got here. I should be locking up a lot more of these wrecks because I'm being a bit lazy with salvage right here. There's quite a few spawning in, but it's not so much. I was thinking there was going to be a lot more. But it just felt like there was a lot in the beginning because there was a wave that was sleeping there. And the Grappler is usually the one that's only used on the cruisers, because the cruisers orbit 15 kilometers, very precisely 15 kilometers. So you're not able to really use the second or the web here on them. But it doesn't really matter because we apply really good anyway. The main thing is just to be able to apply to these frigates who waste so much time when you're trying to shoot them that they just don't get destroyed. And the annoying thing is that it's the frigates in particular that have ghosting effects or the tracking disruptors. So they're going to make you have an even more difficult time to apply. So it's good to be able to take them out when you can. Like we've got a lot of cruisers here. Perhaps I could switch over to the tracking speed script just to be able to apply better to them. The only reason for the range script really is just to be able to get the battleships taken care of a lot more smoothly. Otherwise, our range is 27, 43, that's plenty of range for the cruisers. And that Raznaborg Dragavac is still sleeping actually, he's really far away. He's probably not going to be a good Nosferatu source actually, because he's out of the range of our Nosferatus. 36, yeah, he's just outside the range. That's why it's not giving so much Nos. Now we're getting a few more incoming ships now. Take this guy out. Good. And that one can be taken out of there. Raznaborg Dragavac can be used as Nosferatu source. It's really great to line up all the salvage targets here so you can quickly just notice if you've salvaged them a lot. If you keep everything up here, it's going to get all mixed up. It's going to be a bit confusing. No, I don't want to destroy that one. I want to destroy this one. Thank you very much. We can also use the drones to provide some complementary DPS. Ooh, I saw some Triglavians just walk by us. Destroyed. Just these Raznaborg frigates have no HP and they go so slow, so you're able to almost fully apply to them all the time, as long as you get some good webs and grapples on them. I wonder what other kinds of strategic ways they could alter how you have to play this Triglavian hunting, because right now it's pretty basic. You just sit in one place, they spawn and spawn and spawn. But it would be interesting if they were to add more types of like different spawns that involve you have to fight in a different way. Something that I thought was pretty cool is they did have these Triglavian semiotic transmuters or something like that, where a sort of a Kikamura would spawn in at really close range to you, even if you were really far away. I think it was, or it just could be that it was very fast. I didn't notice it, but it would deploy sort of these beacons, and then these beacons would do sensor dampening to you. So it would be interesting if there's more complexity added to this, more variants. Maybe instead you go to moons, then there's different types of spawns. I think that would be very fun. Because this and Abyss Space, in my opinion, needs to really be developed on, because there's so much potential here. We might be coming to the end of this wave, because this Paladin is really fast. It gets through these so quickly. Never mind. We've got a massive spawn in right here. Oh, it's pretty big. I think it also feels bigger than it actually is, because there's a lot of Damaviks, so they're going to spawn in a lot of them. They sort of spawn in the same amount of arsenal at the same time. So maybe like 3 frigates, or like 6 frigates, and maybe 3 cruisers. 3 cruisers, maybe one battleship or something like that. So you see usually a few big stuff or a lot of small stuff. Oh, we should have been using a web on this guy, but we didn't even need to. There's a Liminal Vedmak. He is pretty hard to kill. Got a decent amount of tank. And does a lot more damage than regular ones as well. They've got missiles, these special kinds of missiles. I think that's the explosions we can hear. Might be the explosions we can hear coming from their missiles. And it's good to salvage, always good to salvage. I wonder if it would be an idea to have a tractor beam. You pull in everything so that you can just fully salvage everything straight away afterwards, because often when I salvage after the battles, then I have to spend a lot of time like waiting for the MT to pull in stuff, though the last few wrecks. And maybe all that time could be saved if I were to pull in everything to begin with. Could be an idea. But there would be a lot more wrecks to salvage as well, because I wouldn't get it done during combat. But it would help with the cleanup time, I think, because when everything is all in one big ball here, the salvage drones go crazy. It's so much easier to salvage everything when everything's close. They're also in the range of my own salvages as well. Yeah, so I think this wave has come to an end now. Oh, there's a lot of wrecks here. I wonder how big of a difference that one salvage I've got actually made. So it could be. I would actually like to try it sometime, just with a tractor beam, see if it's any different. Because you can see there's quite a few wrecks, 15, 15, 15, 40. All these guys are really far away. I have him assigned here, 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 and here. So you just spread those drones out all over the place. We could have warped in at a slight distance from the spawning point, but I think it also is because we had a big fleet here that initially was moving. Oh, there's someone here. There's a destroyer. Kikimora. What are he's doing over there? Need to be a little bit careful here. Let's just keep an eye on the D-scan just in case. So, nothing of suspicion nearby. Have the drone go for the far away wrecks. And the rest of the drones go for the ones that are close. That guy warped away now. I wonder what that Kikimora was doing there, scouting the area. Maybe he was just like, what the heck is this? Maybe he just warped here out of curiosity. Well, it doesn't usually happen that Kikimoras warp to suns in high sec. I would think that if he's using it for PvP, he would be going around in low sec. And if he was doing D&D exploration, which Kikimora is often used for, he'd probably then go for the anomalies here, not the sun. But maybe he's just curious, just a bit bored, wanting to go to some place where other people are. I sometimes actually do that in my Purifier. Go and look at the action of other people. And I can especially that it would be fun to see when you're in a tiny ship and looking at a big battleship fighting away in the distance. I think that point with using a tractor beam can also depend a little bit on what kind of spawns you have. If you have spawns with a lot of frigates, then they're all going to be really close, so then your mobile tractor unit won't have to work so much. But if there were to be a lot of battleships, for example, then they would have to work so much, then I think that you would have more use of the tractor beam. So I think it depends a bit. Here I think it might be favourable to have a tractor beam. But then we would also have more wrecks, so I'm not sure. It's just a lot quicker to salvage when everything's really close. A good thing also about salvaging mid-combat is that you reduce the amount of loot that potential thieves want to get. So you're going to be grabbing the loot while you're generating it. Otherwise, what people can do is that they have good Triglavian standing, they won't be attacked by Triglavians, and then they can just go and just take all the loot for themselves. If we're not to take anything, then at least we'll get something rather than nothing. We'd still probably lose something because he'll maybe salvage some of the wrecks, but at least we will get something. Otherwise, if we're doing sniper style fit, I've seen it that they just take everything basically, and you're not really able to take anything because you can't get into a position where you can salvage stuff. So that way, doing like we're doing, salvaging mid combat is actually quite good. But it's not like we're salvaging everything, so it's not perfect in that way. Now it seems like most of the wrecks left are ones that are pretty far away. This is like what we usually have to wait for. Oh, never mind. We've got more NPCs spawning in. Look at that. We need to recall those salvage drones straight away because they will cause a lot of problems. If we have Triglavians on the case, they're going to get popped straight away. Go for these battleships and cruisers. Yeah, it's a decent amount of loot we're going to get here. How much is this? We got so far 65 million, excluding the MTU. MTU has... Oh, that's a lot in the MTU. Whoa. We've got a ton here, actually, from this visiting perimeter, actually. Really good, really good. Do we have any Drekavax? No, we don't have Drekavax, okay. Because what can sometimes happen is that, in a fleet that was at a different planet decides to just warp to the planet or celestial that you're at. And in this case, this fleet just decided to warp to the sun. We're going to get so much loot from this. We're already over 100 million. So you can get really massive, massive cash from doing this. It depends a little bit on the salvage, as I mentioned before. It varies a bit. It also varies a bit on the types of waves you have. You could also encounter very bad waves or waves that don't have so many NPCs, and then you're obviously going to get less salvage at the same time as well. We can pre-web that Kikimora. I wonder if they're going to be more spawning in here. It seems like there's just this small wave here. Maybe there was just a small fleet that decided to just move to us, but nothing more was meant to happen after that. We'll see. Back to salvaging. Can deactivate the Bastion Module, don't have to have that active all the time. Spread out these drones. There's just a few wrecks left. The MTU is almost taking care of the job. There was only one Leshak generated from that small fleet that spawned in. That's a bit strange. I'm not used to just a small fleet spawning in and then nothing more following it. Usually when the wormhole has been properly startled, so that you have big fleets like we had here, usually there will be a lot of respawning fleets, but here's just a tiny one. Unusual. But the Triglavians are quite random and quite unpredictable, so it can vary a lot with time. There we go, all wrecks salvaged, but there are a few containers left that still need to be acquired. And they're probably going to be good containers as well, since they're far away. That means they're Leshak containers. See here, we've got some Triglavian survey data. Here would be really great to have a tractor beam, because we also have the range. The Marauders, they get bonuses to their tractor beam range, so we'll be able to pull them in. We don't used to use that armor repair as well, because it's just wasting capacitor. Not though we need capacitor, but just in case a big spawn spawns in, we'll have not a completely drained capacitor. We got all loot acquired, 14 million. Whoa. Okay, so the total from this entire encounter was 137 million. And then we also have to remember that we did have 16 from before, so it was not completely from this encounter, but it was still a lot. And how long did this take? About 20-25 minutes, something like that. Really great loot. The best way to end this campaign we've got here. So we'll just check our total that we've got. Dock up in the Citadel, the Sotio. Paladin is just great. It's really great. I'm yet to encounter a really difficult Triglavian wave. It would be good to test this out against a really difficult Triglavian wave, so we can put this to the proper test. The Golem, I've never encountered a situation where it's able to be fully overpowered, but this I've not used it enough to say for certain, but based on the numbers, this is a pretty tanky ship. But I'm just worried about the way the armor repair is pretty sluggish. It might have problems with over-repping too much and reducing its potential tanking capability with a sudden burst of damage. Okay, let's see now. Grab this invasion loot, Control A, put it in here, and then highlight all exactly 300 million. Oh, great. Tons of cash from the Paladin. So a Paladin is a very effective way to take out Triglavians. I do need to test it against really, really big waves, but it works really well in like the small to medium and even maybe somewhat large waves. I've not had any issues whatsoever, so I'll still say it's very reliable. But it might be in some extreme cases, it might be an issue, but that's yet to test. And I wouldn't be surprised if it were to handle it also really well, because it's just so good at taking out stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's enough for Triglavian hunting for now. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.